Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again live down here in the Bear Cave Studios for another episode of the Sports Frenzy Podcast. So, yeah. With me, your host, Freddy El Oso. I haven't said this in a while. It's been a long time. With my other co-host, Stevie G.
What's up, guys? Let's go. I'm back.
With the Devil's Advocate, Rob Faint.
I'm here.
And Anthony, the Encyclopedia.
And gentlemen,
This weekend from Orlando, too big for just one night, it's WrestleMania!
Now, you guys are getting this live and in living color. We are not only on anywhere you consume your podcast, we are going live with YouTube. Well, not live, but, pre-recorded just like WWE's WrestleMania. What do you guys think?
Big things.
First night.
Big things being live. But let me just throw this out there. Tomorrow morning when Anthony wakes up and he has a sore throat, I'm going to have to remind him that he does not have the coronavirus. That was him doing the WrestleMania opening.
And just like that,
we tried to fill in while he was out,
He
And he's
is
back.
So let's jump into it, man. We got a big episode going for you guys tonight. WrestleMania preview. Encyclopedia, bring us in, man.
All right, first off, we're not going to spend a ton of time on all the weekly stuff just because of the fact that we got a lot to talk about with the big weekend ahead of us. Let's start off with SmackDown, and the only thing that really stood out in my mind was that terrible segment with King Corbin throwing Elias off the balcony and the pathetic sound effect. Did you guys see this thing?
Womp, womp, womp.
Fail.
I didn't see it, but they don't have many resources, and that just sounded horrible.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. Terrible.
Wait, they really added a sound? Can we get a sound clip before we're done with the show?
They're trying. I'll give it to them. They're trying.
I mean, I
see if
want
can
you
find
guys to know I have been listening, and I saw Anthony last week. He talked about the "you fucked up" cheers or whatever, and then magically it just happened. So
Hey.
I'm catching these inserts. So I think you need to insert that sound file there.
Actually, that's not my "you fucked up" moment of the week. We'll get to that.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm saying if you could get a sound file, do it.
Yeah. I'll splice that one in. In fact, I did find the clip. WWE even posted it. Oh God.
Oh my God, you gotta love this TV. I mean, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard you guys talk about it a bit. You guys talked about the whole "are these shows good" kind of deal. Now, one thing I gotta back Rob up on that. I don't know if you two were agreeing with, but I'm a broken Matt Hardy guy. I know Anthony and Freddie were kind of whatever about it. I'm with Rob on that, bro. Even though that thing was a little much last week, I'm enjoying seeing it back. I want to see what they do. The crowd thing was kind of odd. And as far as the shows go, because I'm just trying to throw my opinion on it, I think it's going to get old. I think they should do it up till Mania, maybe do an episode after Mania. And I don't know which one of you guys threw an idea of wrestlers coming on shows and you talk about classic stuff. Say you have a wrestler, Anthony, thank you. Say you have a wrestler come in, hey, I love this match for this reason or whatever. And they do that. I thought that was a good idea. And another good idea, why don't we relive the Attitude Era month to month, or relive something? Why don't you just replay some old stuff, like actual shows, like you're watching Raw live, but it's like Raw from '99. I do agree. The empty arena shows, I don't know how I'm going to feel this weekend. That's where I was leading to. I'm not excited this weekend to have no crowd at WrestleMania. That hurts.
Well, they also actually on Backstage this week they tried to do a watch along, and it wasn't. It was Booker T, Mark Henry, and Renee Young doing it, and I wasn't that impressed with that one either. So they got to figure something out.
Was it a certain match?
Yeah, it was. Let me look it up because I don't remember. That's how memorable it was.
All right, so it wasn't that good. Sports Frenzy Podcast could do better watch-alongs. Yes.
That's how we do
I
it,
thought
man.
so.
I can't listen to Booker T for more than 2 minutes anyway, so I can't imagine it was very good.
Is it because every time you think of that racist slip-up he had when he was talking shit to Hulk Hogan?
The way he talks makes me crazy. So
Gotcha.
Nice. Now, what else did we have?
Let's move on because it's going to take me a while to find it.
We had some pretty dope, WrestleMania merchandise released this week for WrestleMania that's, empty. Which shirt have you guys seen that you would be interested in picking up once the clearance hits?
In your house.
I liked the In Your House one. I liked the WrestleMania I Wasn't There.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I'll be honest, guys, in case the people at home don't know, you should know, we're in New York and New Jersey. We're on lockdown. We can't really go out too much. I've been ordering so much shit online. It's out of control. All right, I'll admit it. After my divorce, I'm at home living with my parents, and they keep going, save money, save money. Yeah, well, I've been saving for a car, but that's about it because I just keep ordering shit. All right, I was just saying to Freddie before we got on, I ordered the New York Giants draft hat because I thought that was badass. So I see something and I order. So if those shirts had come out a little sooner, I may have ordered one just to wear here by myself, watching it 2 nights in a row by myself. First time there's no.
So if you guys are wondering why your face masks haven't come in from Amazon, it's because they're fulfilling Steven's orders.
Yo, listen, hit me up if you need face masks. I know someone.
Now, for me, I was going to say either that In Your House one or the Outsiders NWO. I mentioned that one last week. That one's pretty fresh.
I like the In Your House shirt. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a great idea. That's definitely the popular one.
This might be the first time I've heard all four of us. Granted, I talk to you guys all mostly in separate conversations, but I'll actually agree on one shirt. Maybe it's a new Sports Frenzy shirt in your house.
There you go.
It can be done. Freddie knows a girl.
Yep. Who made these lovely shirts, as you guys see on the YouTube channel. The SFP sold out shirts. Let us know
You
if
could
you want
order
one.
these at sportsfrenzypodcast.com. Just kidding.
We can get them ordered for you. Don't worry about it. You let us know.
Absolutely.
Rob might
Freddie,
need a
that
shirt now. Everybody else has one, but Rob does not. So
I was just gonna say I don't have one. So
Got to get them in one. I mean, at the end of the day, Rob, the last people to see me and Freddie wearing this was Kenny Omega and Rob Van Dam.
that's right.
Ah.
Very true.
I actually wore mine recently. Where the hell was I, though? No, anyway. By the way, Freddie, you want to jump on that Outsider shirt? It's at 20% off right now.
Hey, perfect. Don't tempt me with a good time, man. If WWE.com comes out with those buy one, get one for $1, I'm hitting all you guys up.
Yeah.
That's the only time I ordered from them.
They like
We're
swimwear.
putting in orders.
Let me ask you guys something, though, because I know you guys are more on the rumor pages than me, so that's why I'm like, not all caught up with you guys. That's why I listen to your shows for the answers. But Hall of Fame, is there any rumors when they're going to do that now?
I thought it was SummerSlam, wasn't it?
SummerSlam.
Okay.
So
All right.
probably and SummerSlam's up in Boston, so that's the guess right now.
Gotcha.
Anyway, moving back to the
Boston.
shows.
Jesus.
Yeah. Moving back to the shows. First off, the backstage report confirmed on 411 Mania. That's my source. It was The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, number 3. So why those 3 were commentating that, I don't know. And then let's go to Raw.
I just want to throw in there, last time we were here, or I was here at least, the question was always, who's your source? And he threw the source right there on the spot.
I like it.
What groundbreaking upgrades have you guys made? Like,
Nice for old time's sakes. There we go.
damn, who's your source?
We're able to focus now.
Oh,
We've
Damn.
only gone off on like 20 tangents already. Raw actually got my
Good to me.
yeah. Raw got my "you fucked up" moment of the week. Cue the audio. Okay, and that was when our boy from the Street Profits did a suicide somersault out of the ring and completely planted back first onto the ramp. Montez Ford.
Whose
trying to
fault
get
is
Austin
that
Theory.
on this one?
I was trying to figure out the same thing. Whose mess up was that?
Yeah. So somebody definitely fucked up on that. I'm trying to figure out who it actually was. is the $1,000,000 question on that.
Because it looked like was it Austin Theory was outside the ring,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
he
he
didn't look
was.
like he was prepared. Like maybe he was more hurt than he let on, and Montez Porter just went ahead and did his thing and didn't look to see if he was there. Is what it looked like to me more than anything else.
Yeah.
But who knows?
It was, yeah, I don't know who to blame on that one. I think Theory was probably out of position, but at the same time, Ford probably should have been looking to see what was going on there. I don't know. It was, I don't know. They've put a lot on Theory, especially moving him up to Raw so quickly, considering the fact that he's been jobbing out on NXT for months, and now all of a sudden he's on Raw and Tag Team. I thought that was kind of interesting booking. I don't understand.
It's all
that
because
one.
of Andrade getting hurt. Where he got a cracked rib just before Mania.
It might have just been a proximity thing. He might have just been the closest guy they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
That's probably true. I'm not going to deny that one. And I'm trying to find it, but I guess it's not here. But Montez, I guess apparently he actually had responded to a tweet that said he broke his back on that one.
Nice.
But yeah. Okay. There was a ton of promos on Raw. I don't think we need to go too much in that. Still don't know what the hell a Boneyard match is.
They're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
They kind of leave you wondering what the hell half this card is, but we have the encyclopedia here, so he does have all 16 matches listed.
Yeah, well.
Do we know what matches are on what night yet? Have they announced that at least? Or it's still just a toss-up? Like,
They've announced,
you'll figure it out.
if you listen on Raw, they have said a couple.
I think KO indicated his match was going to be on Saturday, but
Correct.
I think that's the only one that they might have said so far.
I think for some reason I have a feeling Taker's was Saturday too.
Well, I suspect Brock is going to be on Sunday because ESPN on Sunday is doing an entire Brock showcase. They're showing all his UFC fights. They're showing his NCAA championship wrestling match. And then that's supposed to lead in to the replay of last year's WrestleMania, which I'm guessing they're somehow shrunk it down to 4 hours. God bless them. I would have loved that when I was sitting there live for 7 hours trying to get through that night. But my assumption is the Brock McIntyre match will main event on Sunday. Other than that, they haven't really said.
I just want to throw this idea out there. You have 2 nights worth, right? You already had NXT do their show last night. Why didn't you take those 2 nights and divide it, Raw and SmackDown, just for the hell of it? If you're going to do 2 nights, do a Raw night and a SmackDown night. Just because things are divided anyway, and I know usually WrestleMania isn't, but why don't you just do it given the circumstances? You may have had a little more order, and people may understand what the hell's going on a little more. I mean, granted, probably have 1 or 2 matches where you'd have to throw them somewhere, like the Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, and I'm trying to think if there's another one that would be in the mix. Anthony would probably know if there's something else, right? I don't think there is, actually.
There's not much in the way of cross brand. I guess the women's tag team title match is the other one. Kabuki Warriors against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. You could throw that on either night since you got a Raw team versus a SmackDown team there.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But, yeah. On a side note, apparently Elias has given an update and WrestleMania update. Oh, it's a video. I'm not playing this right now. Never mind.
I'll be quiet for Elias.
Yeah, but there's no way for me to play it so that you guys can hear it right now.
What did you guys think of the promos? I know we weren't going to talk too much about them, but I thought Undertaker's was pretty good. Edge's was pretty good. I mean, I thought for all the bad writing we've gotten in the recent years, I thought somebody sat down and actually wrote these pretty well. I'm wondering how much input the wrestlers had, because a lot of these feuds are personal. Undertaker and Styles became very personal. Edge and Orton became very personal. So I wonder if they were allowed to, give some input considering the circumstances.
Well,
I did hear they had some
Edge
more
think about who cut the
liberties.
promo.
I mean, Edge has been on fire with his promos. There's a lot of matches, obviously. There's 16 matches. Edge and Orton's is the one I'm most invested in. Even after the whole, COVID take the crowd out kind of deal, I've been most invested in that. I look forward to that. Undertaker's and AJ's, like we said, we don't know what the hell this match is. And personally, the build-up is like they've gotten personal and stuff, but I still think Edge and Randy's goes above and beyond what they've done. And I've read online that Undertaker, they're supposedly for his last run that's going on, it's going to be a whole new Undertaker, a whole different character supposedly. And even with this, it seems like they may be stemming away from like the regular like dead man like caskets or whatever, but they still haven't given us enough to figure out who the hell this guy is going to be if that is the truth.
I read it's going to be like a mixture of the two. It's going to be like the dead man biker scenario. That's what I read.
I mean, I would take it. I enjoyed him when he was the American Badass.
I'd be down to see the American Badass come back for a little bit.
Well, you mentioned the promos. You had Heyman, you had Edge, you had KO, you had Becky Lynch, and you had Undertaker. So, with the exception of maybe Becky Lynch, you got four people there that are known to be able to speak. Maybe they actually let them do their own thing. Cut their own promo.
Something that annoyed me a little bit is when Becky Lynch opened the show and she's basically like, "Watch this. Bitch, we know you didn't sit there and watch your entire WrestleMania match over again from the Performance Center, so why BS us all?" Like, it was like, "Here, watch the big screen. I'm going to watch with you." No, I'm not. I'm lying. Record the next part.
It's also amazing that it's been a full year and they still haven't been able to edit that ending from that match last year at WrestleMania.
I watched the broadcast and I was like, "Are they going to do anything with the ending?" Like, left it.
Yeah, maybe Ronda's going to be appearing on this weekend. Who the hell knows? I can't even say on Sunday because we don't know what night the freaking matches are going to be.
I mean, I don't even think there's going to be any surprises this year, though. I don't know.
The surprise is that they're actually having a show.
No Jack Sparrow?
Yo, bro, don't even, man. That was supposedly something real. I actually read it from 3 different sources. One of them I could tell you was WrestleZone. I don't remember the other. The other one of them may have been Wrestle Inc. too. But I saw it on more than one page, and I just think it would have been hilarious if they did that. If this guy just appears, it's almost as good as, I don't know if you Sports Frenzy guys follow the surveys they do, but one of my votes for the greatest surprise of WrestleMania, Bill Clinton at WrestleMania 10. It probably would have topped that.
Oh God!
I was at WrestleMania 10.
Were you excited for Bill Clinton, Rob? Come on, I was.
Oh, man.
Rob's just like, what did I sign on for?
So, Encyclopedia, we got your You Fucked Up moment of the week. What's your tweet of the week for this week?
The tweet of this week has to be the one, there was an interaction between Chris Jericho and Undertaker. So apparently somebody tweeted out, "I am Jericho. Big lawsuit incoming for Undertaker's use of Ass Clown," which Jericho said, "Hardly. He's the Undertaker. He can use as many of my catchphrases as he wants," to which Undertaker actually tweeted back, breaking kayfabe, "My bad, I am Jericho. I knew I'd heard that somewhere before." Okay. I don't know. The Undertaker tweeting, I'm still not used to this, but that was my tweet of the week.
I would have preferred him to say, "You're on the list."
That would have been fun.
There was jokes about that.
That would have been a good one. Now, before we jump into
He's
Mania,
a dead man going human.
Yeah, but other than that, it felt like Raw, SmackDown, even NXT, it felt like in some respects it reminded me of old school WWF superstars. It's like, yeah, we're going to give you like one feature match and then we're just going to have jobbers most of the rest of it. I mean, not so much on SmackDown, but definitely on Raw. Even NXT, there was like a random match of 2 guys that I think one guy, I only remember seeing him last summer, and the other guy was like, who the hell is this? Really pulling out all the stops. It should be interesting, though. We do know that they've taped through next week's NXT episode, which is we're going to have that 6-women ladder match, and we're going to have the last Gargano Ciampa match. After that, we're not sure what the story is. Florida now has the stay-at-home order, so really, I think we're down. I think now we're down to probably 7 or less states that haven't instituted that, because now Georgia, which is where AEW recorded from last night, that's on the list too. So think they're running out of time. And what I thought was interesting with AEW is they're advertising matches for 2 weeks from now. And I'm saying to myself, if you don't have any place to record this, why even advertise that far out? I could understand 1 week, but they announced a title match for 2 weeks from now already.
Yeah, we might get a hiatus coming soon from wrestling, all companies.
Yeah.
At least for 2 or 3 week period.
I think it could be longer than that, but the other side, you know what? That might be a blessing in disguise because the ratings seem to be dropping on all the wrestling shows now.
Yeah,
I mean, is wrestling not as considered essential?
Not anymore. Maybe after the first
SmackDown
couple
certainly
weeks.
isn't.
Yeah.
But I know Raw had under 2 million viewers this week. The numbers for Dynamite just came in. They averaged 685,000. That's a low for them this year. And NXT was down to 590,000. So people wanted new, fresh content.
Wait, NXT was that low with this being their takeover card? I'm watching it right now as we speak on the WWE Network for $9.99 a month, or you could get it for free right now.
The only match that was actually supposed to be from Takeover is the very last one. And the 411 Mania stopped posting the quarterly breakdown, so I don't know what was the highest rated segment. But I think the fact of the matter is maybe the fans are fed up with the fact that they're still running these shows knowing the stay-at-home orders and people's trying to take it more seriously across the board. Why are they still doing these shows? I mean, even AEW, they went back to having the wrestlers around the ring, and I was like, is this really social distancing? I mean, Britt Baker, a few times he was like, wrestlers were coming by her, and she's like, 6 feet, 6 feet.
I'm going to say it loud and clear. The reason for all this, and the reason the numbers are low, it's Carol Baskin's fault. It's Carol fucking Baskin's fault. She did it to the Tiger King Joe Exotic, and now she's doing it to wrestling. That's what it is, guys.
This bitch. Gosh.
Sorry I had to put it out there like that, but there you go.
What a dirty wench she is.
Well, supposedly AEW still has another option if they can't record in Georgia. I don't know what's left. It's going to be like the UFC.
Farm?
The moon.
I was going to say it's going to be like the UFC with Saudi Arabia. Oh, wait, no, they can't do that either.
Yeah. Send
that
location.
entire card's falling apart.
Sorry. Khabib can't get out.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too far from where Khabib is.
Yeah. Now, before we get to the Mania stuff, we spoke about it last week because we talked about the Dark Side of the Ring, the Benoit episode. This week was New Jack. I refuse to watch it because I just can't stand the dude. So I'll leave it open to you guys who did. So take the floor, gentlemen.
Stevie, did you watch it?
I still got 20 minutes to go. I was loving it. The guy just really does not give a shit. And I appreciate someone like that. Some of his promos and stuff that he did early on, and they showed that when he was with Jim Cornette's production, whatever the hell it's called, Encyclopedia. Thank you. When he was at Smoky Mountain, like some of the things he was saying, I'm like, oh my god, dude had no chill factor. But yeah, I'm not completely through it yet. I was watching it up until we started this, and I look forward to finishing it after the fact because I was pretty much into it. I mean, it's one of the episodes this season I'm looking forward to. Benoit's has been the best out of them all so far, but we still got Owen Hart and Dino Bravo to come. Like, looks like it's going to be a good season. What do you guys think of New Jacks?
Well, first of all, just to put an exclamation point on the Benoit episode, I can't believe how emotional I still got after all this time. And
Yeah.
I did not know that he broke her back. I mean, I did not know all that. So I mean, I was literally sitting there getting all welled up. They did an outstanding job.
I didn't know that
she
was
about Daniel
dead
and
for
the
a
sister,
day.
and I mean, what a great storyline. What a great finish. And then you get to New Jack. And New Jack is a piece of shit. My favorite part about New Jack is every story is I was high on coke. Every story starts with he was high on coke. And as of St. Anthony today, I think I said If the Sandman is your only guy backing you up, you really have gone down a bad path, and there's no redemption for you.
That's true.
He's
Yeah,
just not a good person, and I can't believe he stayed employed all this time.
Yeah. But back real quick to what you said, the Chris Benoit episode, like when they're getting to the point of the murders and stuff, like I'm sitting there like I'm not getting emotional. I was getting scared, yo. I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, whoa, this seems too real. Like by far the only documentary that's I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like this is some serious stuff we're watching here. It's rough.
I almost felt like the Sandman. I don't know necessarily that he agreed with everything he was doing. He was just like so, I don't know, coked or drunk out of his mind that he wanted to see how far this psycho would take it. How this guy is not in jail, I have no idea. I mean, the mass transit incident notwithstanding, but the Vic Grimes segment, that actually made me cringe even worse when
he admitted to trying to kill him.
Yeah. It's like, seriously. And then he beats up the 70-year-old guy. And then
he stabbed the guy, the other guy.
Yeah, and then the guy so the story went, the last guy was some wrestler named Red. Yeah, some guy in Florida, Red something or other. And he actually, I guess the guy it sounded like they were trying to plan the match out, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. And the guy just like, it was all of a sudden, it was like it became real to him that, oh my God, I'm facing New Jack. This guy's nuts. And he kind of stormed out of the room. So New Jack actually had it looked like Wolverine claws, and he pulled it out of his pocket while the guy was muscling him up against the ropes and started stabbing the crap out of the guy. Ended up stabbing him 9 times. He's telling us when he got arrested, the cops came in with guns, they're cuffing him, and they're like, "We got reports that you stabbed him 17 times," and New Jack's like, "No, it was only 9." And then this rustler, Red, whatever his name is, comes to the jail and says, "Yo, I'll drop all the charges. We'll go on tour and we'll make a feud out of this." And New Jack's bad. So New Jack, the guy drops the charges. New Jack said, "I went home, I grabbed all my shit, I got the hell out of Florida after that." How the fuck 4 times this guy got off? It's unbelievable. And then the very last thing they asked him is, if there was a movie about you called New Jack, how would you want it to end? What would be that last scene with you? And he goes, "Me in a wheelchair with my Coke."
Yeah, everything was Coke.
Yeah.
But it was like he got so into the character. It was like he couldn't it was either he couldn't separate reality from fiction, or he just didn't give a fuck.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think so too. But anyway. Okay, so got a lot of WrestleMania stuff to talk with, but let's start with the picks because we got 16 matches to go.
We're doing our picks. Hold on. Let's bring it in for the YouTube. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So for those of you that have not paid attention before, Freddie has to show off every time we do the picks with his plastic
toy
belt from Toys R Us.
I like it.
The reigning defending champion is here. It's time for me to make my picks.
Meanwhile, is Steven watching real porn over there?
Now wait a minute. I feel a little left out. Hold on a minute.
You guys all suck.
Oh, my bad. This is a real belt. Not my favorite belt, but at least I have one.
No, Rob wins. Look what Rob has.
If that's a smoking skull, it definitely wins.
It is. Touche, Rob. It is touche.
His wife.
Anthony, if you want, go over to your work pants and you could take off your Docker's belt and throw it over your shoulder real quick. just so you feel apart, bro.
Freddie, just to let you know, I'm coming for you.
Bring it.
I think I got one of those $20 belts from Target up in my attic. I'm not going for it. You guys enjoy.
The last one to hold this belt was Stevie G, and that was over a year ago, so, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, can I say that maybe you're still holding it because I disappeared?
No.
No, my lead was pretty high once you left.
Yeah, if you look through the doc, Steve, he was way ahead of us when you stopped.
Yeah, no, I know.
Anyway, all right, so we'll start with the picks, then we'll talk some fun WrestleMania stuff, hopefully. All right, first off, I can't believe this is happening. We have one half of Heavy Machinery, Otis, going one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler. Let's go with the newest member of the team. We're going to start off with Rob and put him on the spot first.
Can I say who cares?
You could. You're just going to give up points by doing that.
That's a fair one.
But you're also stealing Stevie G's gimmick.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that, but I'm gonna say Otis is gonna win.
Okay.
And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I'm seconding that. I'm going with Otis there too.
Okay. Stevie G?
Wait, let's change the rules this time around.
Oh, God.
Okay. When it comes to the picks. Because my man is so cocky, and the way you guys said last week that he's definitely going to retain or whatever, he picks first each match.
Oh, that's fine. No shame.
He can get all 16
You
wrong
might
and
mic
he's
drop.
still gonna...
But I'm not dropping
Yeah.
this. I'm going to hold on to this until we have to reset, and then I'll just keep
That
it
belt's gonna
even
look
longer.
nice in my house.
It's going to be so
I
nice
mean,
staying right
Rob,
here.
Rob, it's not because it's a
In the
Toys R
Bear
Us
Cave
belt,
Studios.
bro.
Yeah. That's it.
Rob,
That's
if
not...
you really want one, they're selling them at Target now.
Yeah, they are. Get them while they still last.
Yeah. Freddie was all proud of himself. Toys R Us is going out of business. He buys that belt. Little did he know Target was going to have it like 3 months later for half the price he paid.
No, I
My
got
belt's
mine
real.
for $40, so I'm still good with it.
Yeah, I've seen it for lower than that in Target now. But anyway,
Wait,
I'll take it.
Target, I've always seen it for 100. If it goes
Yeah.
lower, I would just love to buy one to slam over someone's head.
didn't we break enough stuff in our parents' house growing up?
Hey, you know, we could do a watch along with you and your brother's wrestling video.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Steve, he
100%.
somehow got his hands on all of them.
Somehow.
No, I lent him a bunch of DVDs
Some careless
and discs. Yeah, I lent him a bunch of DVDs, and he's sitting there like, "Oh, by the way, I was watching the matches you and your brother used to tape. They're terrible." And I looked at him. I said, "That's impossible." He's like, "Why?" And I said, "Because I didn't give you those discs." And we're at work. He turns his computer towards me, and there's you and I fighting on it. And I looked at him, and my mouth dropped. He goes, "Yeah, you forgot one."
Nice.
We're gonna do a watch along
Well,
with one of those.
listen.
I think.
Whatever the case of that may be, I could definitely see Anthony like slipping in. Like Freddie, could you picture him like wanting Rob to see it, and he's at home waiting by the phone, like, "Ooh, I hope he calls me and tells me I saw it."
No, Rob had already seen it. I had already shown him those videos.
I can't unsee it.
But yet he kept them.
Yeah, but wait, so you weren't impressed by my 8-foot ladder fall from the top to my face and messing my nose up? That was impressive.
Freddie, he goes up to the top, gives the double bird, screams F you, and then the ladder slipped out from under him and he face planted.
That's going to be the next
right.
watch along. Once WWE goes on a hiatus, the Jew for Brothers watch along is going to be happening.
Freddie, just keep in mind though, that face plant happened, and Anthony kept trying to throw me back in the house to clean my bloody face up, and I kept coming back out, and I did not stop. I just kept going, even though my face was in pain.
Just to add an additional show after WrestleMania, I also was hit by a chair on MTV.
All right, I need a clip. I want to see the clip.
Oh,
Yes,
and
it's
for
true.
everybody listening, we have a very special guest coming on with us next week. We will have the creator of Dream Match Tees coming on with us next week. So, little added information there for you guys.
Okay, so anyway, Stevie G, your pick?
I'm totally thrown off right now. Otis. I'm going with Otis.
You're going with Otis. Okay, and I guess across the board we're going to have the same pick as I'm going with Otis, partially due to the fact that there was actually an article on 411 Mania that had the worst win-loss records at WrestleMania, and Dolph Ziggler is 1-7, and he's never had a singles match. This is his first. Go figure. Next. Okay, so we're not going to do this in order.
And Encyclopedia has frozen on us, everybody.
I was gonna say he's not moving.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And he is back now. There we go. for everybody watching on YouTube. He cut out. He's back. Encyclopedia. What's the next match for us?
Elias versus King Corbin.
I walk with Elias here. I'm taking Elias.
Okay, Rob?
I am going to go with Baron Corbin, or King Corbin.
Okay. Stevie G?
I walk with Elias too. There's no way I'd ever go with Corbin for anything.
Okay. I usually walk with Elias, but it seems like every time I pick against Corbin in a match like this, he ends up freaking winning. I think we're going back to the King of the Ring final, so I'm going to go against Elias on this one and say Corbin.
Corbin needs a win. He's been losing too much lately.
Well, he's a heel. That's the job. Anyway, next up we have...
I just hate Corbin's character so fucking much. What an asshole.
He does it well. Okay, next match. Another one that actually I'm a little surprised we haven't even seen one of the competitors in this one in over a month. And the rumor is he actually had COVID-19 and recovered. So how he got a match, I don't know. That's a rumor. Don't take that as fact. But we got Bobby Lashley going one-on-one with Aleister Black.
Wait, Bobby Lashley had it?
That's the rumor. I don't know if I believe it.
I would believe it because you haven't seen him in God knows how long, right?
It's been a while.
He's too busy banging Lana.
I mean, I think I had COVID too, but you know, that's just based off of articles I read that supposedly there's a different version of it in December and January, and I felt some of those symptoms, and I went to the doctor. I have the notes right here where they tested me for strep and flu, and they had no diagnosis for me and told me basically to go home and lay down. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to die. Thanks. Missed 3 days of work during training for that. But anyways, Freddie, say it. Say that line I've been waiting for. We.
Wait, was that the sheet for your Bruce Jenner surgery that you went through? Or was that a different one?
Oh my... Wow.
We are never going to get to these picks.
This Skype or YouTube live is not going well because you guys are cutting up like crazy. But I heard him say, "Is that your thing?" Like, if you want to like see what they tested for, since you don't believe me. Wait, is my social on there? Oh shit.
All right, let's get through the picks. Let's get through them.
No one violated any HIPAA laws when he held the results up to the screen himself.
Yeah.
Well, they are for myself at least, so I can't get fired.
Anyway, Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Ready?
I've got Aleister Black all day long.
Rob?
Aleister Black.
Okay. DVG?
Yeah, I'm going Aleister Black too. Bobby Lashley, another person I don't respect.
Okay, across the board, Aleister Black. All right. Big shock there. God, I hope they don't re-sign him next year. Okay, next up, Intercontinental Championship. We have Sami Zayn defending against Daniel Bryan. This was out of the blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daniel Bryan.
I don't even know how Sami Zayn got that damn belt, but yeah, Freddie, you first.
Daniel Bryan,
did.
man.
What did he pick?
Daniel Bryan.
Oh, okay. I would go Daniel Bryan too.
I think Rob went Daniel Bryan also.
Well, I'm just going to say I went back and forth on this one a couple of times because Sami Zayn just basically won this belt, and I can see them wanting to drag this feud out a little bit. So in one scenario, I could see where he could win, but I think Daniel Bryan takes it. I mean, I can see interference coming in and him keeping the belt, and the feud must continue.
Yeah, I get. And I'm curious, is this a filler? Because the way the storyline was building up, would have thought Braun Strowman would have gotten a rematch here. And that didn't happen, and we know why, which we'll probably be talking about in a few minutes anyway. For that reason, and the fact that now Daniel Bryan apparently wants to go part-time, I'm going to actually go opposite and say Sami Zayn. So I guess I'm going against you guys on that one. All right. Women's Tag Team Championship match. We have the Kabuki Warriors defending against the former champions Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Don't all jump at once.
Nikki Cross and Bliss.
Asuka is currently one of my favorite wrestlers. I'm going with the Kabuki Warriors.
Note that, folks. Rob actually admitted he likes a woman wrestler.
And I said I liked Asuka. No, I'm just kidding. I just love her character. I think she's. I love how her commentary, how she just yells and rants and goes crazy, and they're like, yeah, they're agreeing with her. Jerry Lawler's like, yeah, I agree with you. You're right. I love it. She's just entertaining as hell.
You see, that's like when she comes out and she does that screaming thing. I sit there and I'm like, yo, if I'm watching this, and like say people are at my house who aren't wrestling fans or something like that, like that's one of those moments when it's like, all right, I'm embarrassed I'm watching this right now. I'm sorry that I made you guys watch this. Like I hate what you say. I mean, even being here, if there's any people in the house that I'm in right now, I like shut the door because I don't want them to wonder like, is he watching wrestling or a bad Godzilla movie?
There's no such thing as bad Godzilla movies.
Oh, man.
With that said, though,
Tell my wife that she was ready to walk out of the last one.
With that said, though, I'm going Alexa Bliss. That's my girl. We got the cutout. She's in my storage unit, and she guards it every day.
And I carefully placed her in the storage unit for you.
But
No,
said-
she was in the storage unit before you got up there. So
There's photographic proof of it. It's
Who
on the
do you
Sports
got,
Frenzy
Encyclopedia?
Instagram. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go Kabuki Warriors. I think they're gonna retain here.
Okay.
All right. The matches seem to get better and better, but before we get there, there's one match that I'm not sure what the story is, and it's for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. It's a ladder match, and it's supposed to be The Miz and John Morrison defending against The New Day and the Usos. Now, the reason why I'm not sure about this match is one of the stories that is out, the whole situation with Roman Reigns bailing out, trying to protect himself, partially it stemmed from the Usos being upset that The Miz was even wrestling because apparently The Miz was sick. There's a rumor that the match is actually going to be just John Morrison against one of the Usos, which doesn't make sense to me because why would New Day not be involved? I don't quite understand what they're doing here. I would think that the belts would stay on Miz and Morrison, but if Miz is really sick, are they really going to do that? I don't know.
Just drop the match.
Well, that's another option.
I mean, we don't even know who we're picking and for what.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you could say Miz and Morrison retain or not. I mean, that's really.
yeah. Yeah, well, you could, yeah, or if somebody actually picks the New Day, then by default, if it becomes a one-on-one, it'll be whoever faces Morrison. We'll do it that way. Freddie.
Usos.
Of course.
There's not many Samoans on this card. I'm going with the Usos.
All right. Rob?
I'm going to go with Morrison, I guess.
Okay. Steve?
I'm a Miz fan, so I'm Miz and Morrison all day.
All right. And I'm going to agree with you on that. So Freddie's trying to extend his lead. Just be happy, Freddie, there's no Battle Royals this year for us to have a chance of catching up.
I'll just wave to you guys from the top.
Aye. All right. Let's see. What do we want next? No, that one we'll save towards the end. I think this one's a gimme. The Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Street Profits defending against Austin Theory and Angel Garza. Should I just put Street Profits across the board and save us the trouble?
You might as well.
Yep.
Okay. All right. All in agreement there. No shock. I'm surprised with all the tag teams they had on Raw a couple months ago. They couldn't find one to put in the spot. But anyway.
I heard
All
the
right.
Ascension aren't busy.
Yeah, well. All right. Okay, next one. We'll go with the NXT Women's Championship. We have Rhea Ripley defending against Charlotte Flair. Freddie?
I'm gonna take Rhea Ripley.
Okay. Rob, you want to go up next?
Yeah, I think Ripley should win. Charlotte does not need this win. She doesn't need an NXT title run. I don't see what the point of her winning would be.
You know, the part that I struggle with here is the fact that every time I pick against Charlotte at WrestleMania, she seems to win, and I feel like that's probably the case here. I mean, I don't know. You have someone that's been on the main roster like Charlotte, and she's going to drop to Rhea Ripley. Unless you're going to move Rhea Ripley up to that main roster quickly, I just don't see it happening. I'm going to go against you guys and say Charlotte.
Boo.
Well, trust me, that pains me. I don't really like her at all. But
Stevie G, who you got on this one?
I mean, I can see it.
Charlotte
but
Rhea
I
Ripley.
don't see what serves.
I couldn't make out any of that. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, Rob. We didn't get that
Rob.
one clearly.
You didn't hear me at
repeat
all.
that. It broke up big time.
No, I just said I don't see what it serves to have Charlotte win.
Yeah, I agree with you. Stevie
Well,
G,
I didn't
who
see
you
what
got?
it served to have her beat Asuka.
I mean, if you have Charlotte win, in my opinion, is fucking hearing me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. If you have Charlotte win, though, the reason why I would love to see that is because then it boots her ass back to NXT, and I don't have to watch her on Raw or SmackDown anymore. So if that's the end game, I would rather watch her win and go back to NXT and flaunt your stuff down there because I'd rather watch AEW anyway.
All right. Well, that is a given. All right. Jufa brothers picking alike. Wow. Okay. Let's. No, I still want to save that one. Sorry, guys. Let's go with the Boneyard match: The Undertaker against AJ Styles.
It's a match that no one knows what it entails.
Taker? I don't know. Could this be his last match? It doesn't really do anything for AJ whether he wins or loses, so I'm going to go with Taker.
I'm gonna go with Taker too, and I don't think it's his last match. I hope this is not how they would send him off.
You know, I hate
But
this
supposedly
match
a farewell tour, I heard.
Up until this match when this match was announced, I said I was going to pick AJ Styles. Rob even heckled me for it, and that's what I was thinking because it's Undertaker at WrestleMania. Now that it's a Boneyard match, and they've really had AJ insult the living crap out of Undertaker and made it as personal as they did, I don't think this is Undertaker's last hurrah. That might have been the plan originally, but I think this whole thing with the show being at the Performance Center changed it. So I'm gonna agree with everybody here. I'm gonna say Undertaker. Rob, if you want to restate your reason for your pick, go right ahead now.
Yeah, I was just saying how much I hated the setup for this. I hate the fact that Undertaker's beating up three guys. You know, after his dismal showing against Goldberg, and I love AJ Styles. I hate he's being sacrificed, but Undertaker's gonna win.
All right.
Steve, stop making out with your girlfriend.
All right, what's the next match?
So it's a fatal five-way elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We have Bayley defending against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. Tamina got on freaking WrestleMania. I guess maybe that backs up the rumor that Carmella and Corey Graves also have COVID-19. Anyway.
Wait, who has COVID?
Supposedly Corey Graves and Carmella. That's why we haven't seen Corey Graves commentate in a few weeks, and we haven't seen Carmella in several weeks as well.
But whatchamacallit, I guess they pre-taped those WrestleMania in-betweens, if you will, on ESPN because he's on every week for that.
Yeah, that's true too. That's very true. I don't know. I don't know. This is what I read. I don't know if I believe that. I mean, today there was a video of Carmella and Corey Graves that they posted where that new thing that seems to be the cool thing to do where the guy's kind of standing there like this and the girl kind of climbs all over him. I don't understand the purpose of that, but anyway. Can we get back to the pick now? Who the hell is going to win the
Bayley.
SmackDown Women's Championship?
I got Bayley.
Okay.
What clowns are in this again? Seems like an irrelevant match to me.
Bailey,
Yeah.
Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina.
I mean, I don't know if I expressed this before, my hiatus, but I'm really on the Lacey Evans train. I appreciate who she is as a character. Kind of think she's hot too, even when she's out of makeup, and I appreciate what she does outside the ring. So I'm gonna go with Lacey Evans. Now, before we go on to whoever we're picking next, this is another idea. Instead of having a Raw and SmackDown version of Mania, another thing is, why don't you do a weaker night and the stronger match night even? Just so if Saturday had some of these crappy matches on, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not wasting my Saturday. I'll just waste Sunday.
The problem is they're giving the option to order each night separately or as one if you're dumb enough to order it on cable, which I do know one person that will do that, and it's actually your buddy that we went to MSG with.
Oh, shit.
Still orders everything on cable.
Who do you
What
got,
a
Rob?
clown.
Yeah.
The one who tested the theories of the Encyclopedia. I was excited for that, but he just lost some points.
Yeah.
He could get WrestleMania for free if he signs up now.
Yeah. His excuse is, I don't want to create another account with my email address. I don't like that shit. He's the reason why we had paper tickets for that show. I had to pay for the mail order because of him. I don't do mobile. Anyway, Rob, go ahead.
Is there any division sadder than the SmackDown Women's division? I mean, Tamina, Naomi. Ugh.
What? Oh, for a second I thought he was picking Tamina. I was like,
No.
really?
I'm going to go with Bailey. The only person I would even consider picking other than her would be Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
But I think Bailey's still going to retain.
And that's exactly who I'm picking, actually, is Sasha Banks. I think they kind of hinted at it when she and Bailey have been in the ring, and Bailey's hinting at we're a team, and Sasha kind of has the smirk on her face, like, yeah, we'll see. At least the plus side, this being an elimination match, which I think this is better when you have a multi-person match. I hate it when it's one fall to a finish. So at least we'll get one definitive winner. Of course, just like everything else with this card, they might change everything last minute. So we'll see. All right, next one. Let's go with KO versus Seth Rollins. This was a match that I think we've known since November. It was definitely coming. I was really excited for this because I thought this would be like one of the top matches, and it kind of fell in the mid-card the way things are going now. And I actually, in some respects, think this might have taken too long to get here. But that being said, Freddy, El Champion, Le Champion, go ahead.
I'm going with KO in this one.
Okay.
Of course, I'm going Kevin Owens. You already know I support the fat people.
Nice.
Rob?
I agree with Anthony. I think this build has been way too long. Too many people have fallen off. And now you're just like, get this match over with. So, yeah, it's KO.
Okay, across the board, we're going with KO because I'm not picking against him, especially with the last promo Seth cut where he basically said KO hasn't done crap at WrestleMania. Right. It almost feels like, to me, like Seth Rollins is in that Triple H role the last few years where every once in a while Triple H puts someone else over that's up and coming. Hopefully
I thought you were going to say
there.
he's banging Stephanie, too.
No.
Right.
Well, that's, Triple H, Stephanie, Becky, and Seth. No, I don't even want to imagine that. All right, anyway. Firefly Funhouse match, which I guess we'll find out tomorrow on SmackDown what this means. But John Cena is back, and he's facing The Fiend.
I got The Fiend in this one. I don't
Okay.
think Cena's going to come back and not put Bray Wyatt over.
All right.
Yeah, it's about time in John Cena's career that he's trying to blow up like The Rock, which will never reach his standard. They delayed Fast and the Furious 9 for so long, but realistically, I was iffy about his performance anyway. But back to the subject at hand, Bray Wyatt all the way. And then I would love it if Bray Wyatt, even though it's not a rule anymore, came on the next day and told Goldberg he wanted his rematch clause, even though they don't have that anymore, and then just takes it to Goldberg. That would be my dream scenario.
Okay.
Well, I don't think we're going to get that lucky. Rob?
The Fiend.
Okay. And, all right, across the board, we're going with The Fiend.
I can't really see how the Fiend would lose to a fireman's carry after being speared 20 times,
Right.
kicked in the head 50 times. I can't see him being pinned by a fireman's carry.
Well, he got pinned by the jackhammer after, like, just 3 spears, but... Okay, anyway, I'm going to agree with you. I don't see why Cena would come back just to get a win over The Fiend, and especially the fact that it's a Firefly Funhouse match. Hopefully, do you know what? This could be just as entertaining as the match Bray had with Randy Orton. What was that? The House of Horrors match or something several years ago on Backlash? All right. Here's another match that I think across the board we're going to end up picking the same thing. Last Man Standing. Edge is back, and he's facing off against Randy Orton.
Edge.
Should I just put Edge across the board?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Adam Copeland.
Shh. We're not supposed to use real... Oh, no, wait. They're using real names all over the place now on the show. All right. Raw Women's Championship. We got Becky Lynch, who's coming up on 1 year as champion, defending against former NXT champion Shayna Baszler.
Man, as much as I want to pick Shayna Baszler here, there's been a lot of titles changing hands, and there's still a few more to come, so I'm going with Becky Lynch.
I'm going with Becky Lynch all the way. Let this girl have the belt even longer, because none of the other women in the Raw locker room, including Shayna Baszler coming over, are even relevant to her anymore. Like, she seriously, like, she's one of those reasons some people still watch Raw. So keep the belt on her a little longer. Let us have a women's champion that goes over a year and see how long she could go with it.
Shayna Baszler. I think Shayna Baszler beats her badly, and then we start the program of Becky making her way back up to the title.
I'm glad to hear someone else agree with me, because I totally agree with you on that. I think the build for Shayna Baszler going back as far as Survivor Series is just, why would you go through all this just to have her job out to Becky? Yeah, the Raw Women's division is weak, but Shayna winning it now, that would at least reset some things. You have some new faces she could defend against. Who the hell knows? I mean, Ronda Rousey was spotted at Titan Tower in the last month. Maybe she's going to be involved. The fact that they replayed that match from last year and showed the fact that they fucked up the pin is really interesting. If you're trying to build Becky up, why would you show that? Why wouldn't you have edited that?
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Why edited? It already happened.
I mean, Shayna Baszler, like,
done it before.
she's the whole reason I hated Elimination Chamber. Like, I hated her dominance, which, you know, I get it. They're trying to make her look badass and stuff. But Elimination Chamber, in my opinion, like, I want to see a match where girls are pinning each other, not one person pins the entire, the entire group, if you will. I want to see some crazy ass moments, but not like this girl tossing other girls around like rag dolls. Like, you know, in a porn fantasy, I'm sure that could be great, but there's nothing attractive about Shayna Baszler that I would ever masturbate to. So therefore, I'm just saying, like, nothing. No. I don't. Oh gosh, if she was the last person on Earth, like, the human race would be screwed, because I wouldn't touch her. But yeah, so I'm not really a Shayna Baszler fan. Like, a perfect ending for me, if you had to make it so Shayna Baszler could look badass and win a month from now or something like that, just to give Becky Lynch that year mark, if you will. Yo, have Ronda Rousey come in like her little badass self, be talking shit about the crappy pin last year, and then have Becky Lynch roll Baszler up for another crappy pin just to add insult to injury, and then Baszler could beat her next month. Like, let Becky have it for a year. How many days for a year, Encyclopedia? I know you have the date right here in the front of your brain.
Well, no, I don't.
You went to WrestleMania.
What does that have to do with anything? That doesn't mean... Look, I'm not a Becky Lynch fan. I'm not going to sit there and memorize how long her title reign's been.
No, but I'm saying, like, what was the date of WrestleMania last year?
Isn't it coming up on a year? I mean, is it right?
I was going to say.
there.
Yeah, it's right about there.
I was going to say, if she makes it to Sunday, it'll be 366 days.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah, and it's also a leap year, so yeah, she'll hit 365 on Saturday.
I mean, Shayna Baszler, whatever the fuck her name is. She's just disgusting. She is so disgusting, and I hate her teeth. Like, seriously,
All right.
like.
What's the next match? What do we got?
No,
What's
wait,
the
hold
next
on,
match?
hold on. Let's go here real quick, Freddie. I want you to think about this, okay? Let's say one of you yahoos was dating Shayna Baszler, and you're having a moment, you're making out with her the whole freaking nine, right? And she drops to her knees. Let me tell you something. I would run out of the fucking room because I wouldn't know if my dick would come out of it alive. All right.
All right. Next match up on the card.
Wait. So my question is, he's just said if any one of us was making out with Shayna Baszler. So what are you standing there watching?
No, I'm not putting myself in that category. I don't even want to be in that category.
Yeah,
so
I got a little worried there for a minute. I'm like, why are you in the room?
No, I'm not. No one stated I was in the room. First off,
You did.
no, I didn't say that. I said if one of you guys were, and she dropped to her knees in front of you. I never said anything about me being in the room. I was throwing you guys on the bus like it was happening to you.
But then you
because
said
I don't
you would.
want it to
Then
happen.
you said you would leave the room.
though.
No, I'm saying. Oh yeah, I guess I did that.
Oh man.
It's moments like these that your podcast has been missing. Okay,
We can edit all this out, right?
There we go.
No, don't edit it because people are going to enjoy that. These are the moments.
I'm not editing this one.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
YouTube, you guys can see Stevie G's lovely bed set as he's there.
Yo, it's all
about
Tommy
Shayna
Hill.
Baszler.
It's all Tommy Hilfiger, ladies and gentlemen.
That's where he
Name
dreams of
Francis
Shayna
Biscuit.
Baszler. Right there. That's where he's going to pin her
These-
down.
A lot of So, anyways,
Next matchup,
Brock
what do we got?
Lesnar defending
including
against
some Wizards moms. But anyways, go on.
Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre all the way, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. It sucks.
It better not be a Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, for real. We don't want to hear about you and Shayna Baszler again. We get it. You guys like to make out. We get it.
Woman in wrestling, like put her back in NXT just so you don't have to see her all the time. So my thing with Drew McIntyre is I feel bad. This is the one guy I feel bad for because of this whole COVID thing. He's not going to have that moment when you have 60, 70,000 people. I've thought about this over and over again. He's not going to have that moment to raise that belt in front of those 60, 70,000 people. So I think out of everyone on this show, he's the man who's getting robbed out of this whole freaking ordeal because this match, like so many people were looking forward to it. His performance at the Royal Rumble, unprecedented. I feel so bad for this guy, but Drew is taking it, just not the way that we all wanted to see him take it. He's going to take it in empty house, raise the belts, and probably deep down be like, damn, this sucks. They should just play Akon lonely when he holds the belt up at this point.
Nice.
I'll follow it up with Drew McIntyre.
Any reason why you want to get into?
You know, it has to do with Shayna Baszler and her teeth.
Sounds great. I completely agree.
I've listened to the shows. I respected your opinion, so you brought up Shayna Baszler. Damn it. So disgusting. And I swear, if you ever get me a cardboard cutout of her, I will burn it wherever it's at.
Let's see if I doubt WWE even produced those, but you never know.
Encyclopedia's about to check.
I'm checking.
They should have Shayna Baszler face Ruby Riott.
Yo, I would sexually take down Ruby Riott any day. I would grab her by her
Oh
little ball.
man.
Gross.
Listen, no, let's play a game, okay? If you had to choose one, you had to take one of them, Ruby Riott or Shayna Baszler. Who are you taking? I'm going Ruby Riott in a heartbeat.
I'm cutting my own throat.
Yeah, I'm gonna
No,
take
you have
Ruby
to
Riott.
choose one. No, you have to choose one, guys. This is a game. Come on now.
So anyway, I don't know if they're gonna bother
Pussies.
putting the belt on Drew because do you think they could potentially save this for when they're actually back?
No.
You guys
No.
don't think so across
No,
the board?
You
It's
gotta
not
do it
going-
here. You gotta pull it
No.
out.
Totally anticlimactic if they give it to him some other
If-
time.
Yeah,
If
but
they
how
were-
many times did we think that they were a couple of years ago? We thought Roman for sure was going to win, and then Brock won, and everyone was like, "What the fuck just happened?" Not that anybody cared because no one wanted to see Roman win except for Freddie.
McIntyre all the way.
Yo, if they were gonna save this for another show or something, then they should have made this show a glorified house show more than some of it already is, and they should have delayed WrestleMania till like June or July and given a moment. Okay, bro, stop flipping the bird. I'm usually the one having your back on this whole shit, so stop. You were so excited to have me back.
So Encyclopedia, who do you got here? Did we get your pick?
No, you didn't. I'm really torn on this one because I don't see why they couldn't wait at this point. I mean, they're even joking about it themselves. We talked about it in the opening. We have a WrestleMania in your house shirt out available, special order only.
Really torn on this, like Shayna would tear up his penis.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna say Drew just so we can move on because. And then the unknown. We have Roman Reigns challenging Goldberg. Oh wait, no, that's not gonna happen because Roman freaking told us it's not gonna happen, even though WWE hasn't caught up.
And he had good explanation. You got to give him that. It was a very well thought out explanation.
No, I don't disagree with him. I said this last week. The thing I found odd was the timing of it. What happened all of a sudden that he appeared on a few episodes of SmackDown at the PC and then all of a sudden out of the blue? And it could be that whole thing with The Miz, the rumor that Miz was sick and he was trying to make a point. I mean, if there's anyone that could get away with it, it's Roman. It's nice to see a main eventer actually stand up to Vince in this bullshit. There was an entire Forbes article that came out early this week that said the biggest problem WWE has is Vince McMahon.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. You see, it's not just maybe The Miz. I mean, just in general, I feel like everyone in the United States, for example, everyone was just kind of like, oh, whatever, coronavirus. But then as it gets more serious, people are like, oh, shit, and they're realizing and they're changing their lifestyles and things like that. And maybe that's another reason why he did it. I don't know if you guys also read this. Supposedly, Brock Lesnar went at Vince McMahon over his spot for recording WrestleMania because he wanted his spot moved towards the beginning because he wanted to do his spot and get the hell out of there and get himself out of harm's way. And he went into Vince McMahon's office and he had words with him and he spoke on behalf of the entire roster. I think that one, because I know Anthony's looking right now, I think that one was on Wrestling Inc.'s website. I read that yesterday or the day before, that Brock Lesnar went in on Vince McMahon. There was some sort of altercation where he called him out face to face and walked out kind of deal, because he just wanted his match moved to an earlier slot for recording because he wanted out.
You might have broken that story because I don't see that anywhere. But Brock did have diverticulitis while he was UFC champion. So does he have a compromised immune system? That is a good point. But at the same time, he's another one that has enough clout that could have said to Vince, "No, fuck you, I'm not doing this," and that's not what happened, at least in his case. Anyway, so spoiler alert: if you're actually watching this before SmackDown, Braun Strowman's going to step in and face Goldberg. There's some storyline that's going to air. Sorry. So Braun Strowman versus Goldberg. Freddy?
Braun Strowman.
Stevie G?
Oh my God! Yeah, I guess it's Strowman's time. I mean, I really don't care if he does an empty arena or not. There's no, I mean, that's what sucks. With the whole Roman Reigns pulling out. Yeah, you really have no time for a build.
Yeah. Agreed.
So there's nothing to invest in this. So I'm just gonna go Braun Strowman because I feel like Goldberg was probably only supposed to be back for 2 or 3 matches or some bullshit. You know how he is.
Yep. No, he's got to go to Saudi Arabia and drop Undertaker on his head or some shit. Nice. Rob?
Strowman.
Okay. So across the board, we all think that despite the last-minute change, it's still going to be Strowman. Goldberg's contract probably doesn't allow him to go beyond that. All right. So those are our picks. Before we wrap up, we wanted to talk about some WrestleMania topics, all-time WrestleMania stuff. So first I'm going to pop over to the Instagram. earlier this week, we asked people what their favorite WrestleMania is. And we had Aaron Boyd, who we had on the show last month, WrestleMania 22. Rob Valentin, 86. My basement in 1997. Bro, I don't want to know what you were doing in your mom's basement. Really? I don't know, bro. Yeah. Miguel Usma. Freddie, correct me. How do you pronounce that?
Luisma?
Luisma, thank you. He said 17. And then Stevie G, as a joke, actually answered. Steve, what did you say was your favorite WrestleMania?
WrestleMania by far, WrestleMania 9.
Okay.
Yo, there's something about Bobby Heenan coming in a camel backwards. It does the job, all right? And the Giant Gonzalez, come on. Undertaker's greatest WrestleMania match.
Nice.
All right. Now, that being said, now, in all seriousness, is that really your favorite WrestleMania?
No, I would probably, I'm more of an old school guy. I enjoy the old stuff. It would probably be either WrestleMania 8, just because I love when the Warrior, surprised everyone and came in. That made the whole show for me, and the Ric Flair Macho Man match was great. And I love the Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12, and I know Anthony enjoyed seeing Goldust in a thong, so I think he'll agree with me about WrestleMania 12. So yeah, those would be my picks. It'd be 12 or 8.
We actually didn't watch 12 live, but anyway, that's another story.
We didn't. I didn't say we did.
Anyway, no, I know. Freddie.
I'm going to have to go with 12. 12 was my favorite. That Iron Man match did it for me.
All right. Rob?
I have a special place in my heart for WrestleMania 10 because I was there. That's
And
your
because of
Bret
Bill
Owen
Clinton.
match, Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon ladder match, and Randy Savage and Crush Falls Count Anywhere match, or Last Man Standing. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of those. So my first big pay-per-view. So I've always have a special place in my heart for that one.
Were you sitting anywhere near where Crush and Macho Man fought?
Actually, I was. I was sitting right above where the wrestlers came out.
Oh, okay.
Not close enough to reach them, but close enough that I could see them all as they were coming out. So it was pretty
Gotcha.
cool. And really good seats, and it was a really good show.
Nice.
Nice. Encyclopedia?
The funny thing was I didn't really narrow it down to one. I know a lot of people feel like 17 was the best. I'm sorry, the end of the Rock Austin match with the dozen chair shots will never do it for me. I'm not. I think I'm going to kind of lean towards 19. You had Rock Austin 3. You had Angle, Lesnar, even though Lesnar fucked up. I mean, Hogan, Vince, whatever.
That's a fuck up though. That goes down in history. They do reference that one a lot.
Yeah, you had Jericho and Shawn Michaels. So I think that was a pretty balanced card. I mean, there were a few others that were pretty good, but 18, I still feel like we should have seen Hogan face Austin, not Rock. 17, like I said, that Rock Austin 2 match, that ending always bothered the shit out of me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. I guess I'll throw my vote to 19. I kind of wanted to pick 20. That was the first WrestleMania Steven and I went to. Actually, I think that was Stevie G's only WrestleMania, but that one's kind of tainted, unfortunately, based on some unfortunate circumstances that happened.
Benoit had a great match.
He did. All right. We also asked you guys your favorite WrestleMania match of all time. Now, Mrs. El Oso actually answered. She said the Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, which you guys mentioned as your reason for WrestleMania 12. Stevie G said the same thing. And then our friend Miguel said any Rock versus Austin match. Freddie?
I'm going to have to go either the ladder match at 10 or the Iron Man match at 12. Those were the two of my favorite matches.
Rob?
I'm going to have to go with Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon ladder match. I mean, you got to put that in context. At that time, ladder matches were, not in vogue. There weren't too many. So, I mean, everything they did was considered, the first. So I remember just being astounded. It really stood out on that card more than any other matches.
No, I agree with you because seriously, I can't name a ladder match that I would say would top that one. That one just raised the bar in general. you got these like tag team ladder matches, like the Edge and Christian Dudleys and Hardys and stuff. They had their own thing, but it wasn't HBK, Razor Ramon. WrestleMania 10, that match was insane.
All right.
Yeah, I just watched it again the other day, and it still stands up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does.
Still
I got a T-shirt for that match from Homage.
So mine is actually, and it's the one match I actually say is the greatest match of all time. If there was one match I had to have a wrestling fan or someone that's not a wrestling fan watch, I would actually have them go watch The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 25. For me, that was the most perfect match that they've ever had at a WrestleMania, possibly ever. I know there's a lot of people that feel differently. New Japan Pro Wrestling, any Omega Okada match kind of gets rated higher. I get that. For me, it's always been Shawn Michaels and that Undertaker WrestleMania 25. All right. So we didn't really get any responses on the other stuff. So
Like what?
well, one of the questions I asked was, what is your guilty pleasure WrestleMania? What is that one WrestleMania that's universally panned, but for some reason you love it? And nobody answered that.
Because I don't think there is one for anybody. I
There's one for
certainly
me.
don't have one.
Well, the Encyclopedia has one. Tell us what yours is.
It's the one you mentioned, WrestleMania 9. 9. I like the Roman theme. It was one of the few WrestleManias I felt like where every match was actually built up ahead of time, and you had a few going that saw it to a conclusion, with the exception of maybe the Steiners versus Head Shrinkers. That was also the very first pay-per-view Stevie G and I tried to order. Unfortunately, we didn't have the cable box to do it, but I don't know why. I know that universally that's considered, if not one of the worst WrestleManias, that's the worst one. I don't know why. For some reason, that's my favorite as far as a guilty pleasure.
Nice.
Okay. Guilty pleasure moment, something that's really not that stands out that much, but you always seem to love watching it over and over again and goes goosebumps, even though, like I said, it's not one that people talk about often.
For me, one of those moments was that WCW versus DX moment from a few years back, where you had the Click come out. And it was a nostalgia moment for me, so that was my guilty pleasure moment.
Nice.
Like
nice.
guilty pleasure is something that, like, obviously you enjoy, even though most people may not.
It could
Yes.
be.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then I'm gonna go with the Battle Royal where they brought all the old timers back that Iron Sheik won. When Doink took the dumpster, all of them were in there. The gimmick, so great.
Nice.
Gimmick Battle Royal. Rob?
And nothing for me.
Okay. And for me, it's actually one that Steven mentioned. It was WrestleMania 8 when Sid was going out of the ring to get a chair to hit Hogan, and all of a sudden the Warriors music hit and the whole place went ballistic. For some reason, I get goosebumps every time I see that stupid scene. I have no idea why.
Nice.
Do you guys have any picks for worst WrestleMania?
9.
Okay. That's fine.
This year's?
True.
This year.
True.
15. Are people forgetting about 15?
Remind me what was 15.
The main event was the first Rock Austin match. We had Mankind versus Big Show. We had a tag team match that was thrown for the belts right before the show even went on the air. You had Undertaker versus Boss Man Hell in a Cell.
When
What
Boss
about-
Man got hung.
Which WrestleMania was Undertaker with Albert and where he had to wrestle the two guys?
That was
He's
that was
American
19.
badass.
That one, I don't remember the rest of that card, but I remember that match being a real stinker.
So
Yeah.
that's your worst WrestleMania match. Okay. For me, I feel like it's WrestleMania 2000, aka 16. That entire card. I feel like that's the era where we started really seeing Vince trying to throw everybody on the roster onto a match, because we had it was like Tag Team Mania. I mean, we had freaking Al Snow and Steve Blackman in a match. Godfather and D'Lo Brown were a team.
Head cheese? You didn't like head cheese?
No, I didn't. And then that event has what I thought is the worst match in WrestleMania history: the Cat versus Terry. and the winner was the one who threw the loser through the ropes. Any votes for a worst match? Anybody?
Wasn't Snooki in a match?
El Gigante and Taker at 9. That was pretty awful.
Hey, Steve, the way you look right now, you look like you're part of a horror movie.
Yeah.
In the filter.
Right?
Listen, I'm tired
Your
of shit right
filter's
now.
like slowly coming in and out.
11:35 at night.
It's hard walking from his bed to his desk to work.
Whoa, the desk is all the way upstairs. All right.
2 floors.
Can't have anyone walk in there. No HIPAA violations. That door gets locked the second I start.
Ah, okay. Rob, you're referring to WrestleMania 27. It was John Morrison, Snooki, and Trish Stratus against Dolph Ziggler and LaCool.
Yeah, that match kind of sucked.
No wonder Michelle McCool's pushing Undertaker to wrestle more. She had to do a job for freaking Snooki. Boy. All right. Any votes for favorite title change? Favorite entrance? Anything? Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Go ahead.
All right.
It's been a long one.
We thank you guys for listening. Find us on www.thesportsfrenzypodcast.com, The Sports Frenzy Podcast on YouTube, where you can watch this episode and many of our other ones. The pay-per-view champion continues to be here and will always be here for you guys. Do not
Get your
fret.
doctor spells on.
WrestleMania this weekend. Tune in. Let us know what you guys think, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace.